You just discovered dividend investing in your 40s or 50s, and the immediate reaction is panic. You run the numbers and realize you missed the traditional 30-year wealth accumulation cycle. The math seems completely rigged in favor of the 20-somethings. That fear of being behind pushes almost every late starter toward one specific, dangerous shortcut. You spot a stock paying a massive 10, 11, or even 12% dividend yield, and you buy in, thinking it's a perfectly logical way to make up for lost time. But this chart shows exactly why that shortcut fails. When you analyze these ultra-high yielders, their actual company earnings are tiny compared to their massive dividend payouts. It is an unsustainable payout ratio. Eventually, the entire financial structure buckles under its own weight and crushes the stock. When that company inevitably cuts its dividend, the stock price tanks right alongside it. You lose your reliable monthly cash flow, and your principal investment gets wiped out at the exact stage of your life when you cannot afford a major loss. Mainstream financial advice traps you in a false choice. Either settle for safe index funds that grow at a frustratingly slow crawl, or gamble your life savings on toxic, high-yield traps. There is a highly effective middle ground built specifically for shorter timelines. It requires targeting assets that pay a moderate yield, somewhere between 4 and 8%, but that carry a strict historical track record of growing that dividend by 5 to 10% every single year. This chart shows how that combination works in your favor. You buy in today at a safe 6% yield. Because the company legally increases its payout annually, within 10 years, you are effectively earning an 11% yield on your original cash investment. To weaponize that growing yield, you use a phase-based strategy called accumulate then activate. If you are still working and can cover your living expenses, you lock in a strict 5 to 10-year window where every single dividend dollar you earn is automatically reinvested to buy more shares. Look at the compounding loop this creates. Let's say your initial yield generates $750 a month. If you reinvest that cash every month for a decade, your base portfolio value practically doubles. When you finally turn off the reinvestment and activate the income, you are pulling out twice as much cash from that exact same starting yield. Compressing a 30-year wealth-building process into 10 years relies entirely on the direct math of pairing moderate, consistent dividend growth with ruthless reinvestment discipline. Executing the strategy requires a very specific asset mix. Your foundation comes from dividend growth ETFs, funds holding companies with decades of consecutive payout increases. You pair those with the core 4 individual stock sectors: utilities, consumer staples, healthcare, and financials to lock in stability. But to make the math work on a tight timeline, you need a third category. It is an income accelerator that mainstream finance influencers regularly ignore because it lacks the excitement needed to go viral online. They are called business development companies, or BDCs. These are publicly traded entities that operate much like banks, lending massive amounts of capital to small and mid-sized businesses to fuel their operations. This flowchart shows their unique legal advantage. By law, BDCs are mandated to pass at least 90% of their taxable income directly to shareholders. Because that massive stream of capital bypasses corporate taxes entirely, it generates highly regulated, reliable yields that sit between 8 and 11%. By combining these three distinct assets, ETFs for the long term, the core 4 for stability, and BDCs to accelerate your cash flow, you construct a financial machine that pays you heavily today while continuing to grow tomorrow. Let's run the exact 2026 math on a 10-year timeline. This graph shows a $150,000 starting portfolio. If you reinvest all your dividends, contribute an extra $1,000 a month from your salary, and average a blended 6% yield, over 10 years that balance climbs to nearly $480,000, paying you over $2,300 every month in pure cash flow. Now we scale it. If you start with $300,000 and maintain those exact same variables, your portfolio quickly surpasses $800,000. At that same 6% yield, you are suddenly generating a full retirement income of $4,000 a month. You can calculate your specific target right now using the Dividend Freedom Equation. Take the exact monthly income you want in retirement and multiply it by 200. Grab a piece of paper and write that final number down. Passively consuming financial content won't secure your retirement, but defining a strict mathematical target immediately turns an abstract feeling of anxiety into a concrete, executable timeline. Starting your investments in your 40s or 50s provides you with serious execution advantages. You are currently in your peak earning years. You have total clarity on what you want your lifestyle to look like, and you possess a strict urgency that a 25-year-old simply lacks. The financial industry told you starting late was a permanent penalty. They just wanted you to use their slow math. Now that you have the right math, it is time to build.